I'm Sarah, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about the book I read for March Buzzwordathon. So the prompt for this month was a book with the word time in the title. And I gotta admit, I was not initially excited about this choice. It was the only book I had that had time in the title that I hadn't yet read. So I kind of got stuck with it. The Time Between Us by Tamara Ireland Stone. I have no idea where this came from. I think I've said that every time I've talked about it. I think it might have come from my grandmother's house before she died. She had given me a bag with some books in it that she thought were mine. And I think this was in there, which I think means it was probably either my sister's or my cousin Jordan. So if either of you are watching this and this was your book, please let me know. But yeah, I was not excited about this one because of the super cheesy cover. Even though it kind of sounds like an interesting story. It's about this girl in 1995 and this boy from 2012 is in her time and her age, but in reality, he was not born until 1995 and he's 17 in 2012 and he traveled back in time and he's not supposed to be there and they fall in love. So it's kind of an interesting story, but this cover, this would not sell this book to me. And in fact, it made me actively not want to read it. But it turned out I actually enjoyed this one. There's definitely some insta love, which I can forgive when it's teenagers, because honestly, teenagers, that's a thing. That really is a thing. Some of the time travel stuff, I thought it was pretty well done for a book where the focus of this book is the romance. It's not really supposed to be a big sci-fi or fantasy. The time travel's there, but it's just kind of like a device for the romance. It was done pretty good. I had thought, and kind of spoilers, but I had thought when reading the back of this, Bennett, the guy, did not have control over where he was sent in time and space. And that's not actually true. He does. So he can actually send himself and he can take a passenger. He can go anywhere he wants in the world. And he can go anywhere in time within his own lifetime. So it's kind of cool. I respect that the author actually had the characters do the things that I would want to do if I was in this situation. She finds this out about Bennett and she's like, so wait, you could take me to Italy? You could take me to other countries? We can travel? And they do, and it's fun and it's cute. For the time travel, that was a little more inconsistent. Bennett doesn't really like the time travel aspect, and he's in 1995 for a really specific reason that you find out about in the book. And it's a legitimate reason. He tells Anna that it's too dangerous and he won't take her anywhere in time. He won't take her back in time and he won't take her forward in time. And he makes a very big deal about this. He makes a big stand about it when there's an accident and Anna wants him to undo it. He's like, no, we will go anywhere in the world you want to go, but we are not going to travel through time. It's too dangerous. I can't risk changing things. We don't know what's meant to happen. We don't know what the ramifications would be. But then he easily does it and doesn't acknowledge that it's the same thing. So for example, he takes her to somewhere in Europe, I think it's Italy, and they stay there for a day and overnight. And then when he takes her back to her hometown, he also takes her back a day in time. So it's they were never gone. And it's just not at all acknowledged by him or her really that that's time traveling. Her parents lived this day and night without her where she didn't come home and they were probably panicking. They probably called the police, and she and Bennett undid all of that when they traveled back in time. But she also does not acknowledge that that's time travel. That's the same as her wanting to undo an accident that happened to somebody she knows. I thought it's just something I picked up that I was that's weird. He's making this big deal about not taking her through time, but he does. So, but for the most part, I enjoyed the writing of it. I thought it was a fun romance. The ending got a little hand wavy, and the book starts off in 2011 or 2012 with a 30-something-year-old Anna finding a teenage Bennett and giving him this letter about how they're gonna meet, and it's a little questionably groomy. You could make an argument that it's grooming. I don't quite know how I feel about it. I don't think it. It's so hard to say when you get into like these time travel type situations that are not realistic, would never happen. But I unexpectedly enjoyed the book. And I had not realized when I picked this book that it is actually, there's a sequel. It's a duology. And I'm not proud of this, but I bought the sequel already. I bought it used, so I've got that going for me. I guess this one is from Bennett's perspective, which does not appeal to me at all. I would much prefer reading a book from a woman's perspective, always. The cover, I appreciate that they were consistent. Like, I think those might, like, are those the same models? I think they are. Maybe. Maybe not. But this one's equally cheesy. You could see this book and have a pretty good guess that it's a sequel to that one, even though it's not labeled as such. But we do have a sequel. I do plan on reading it. I want to read it pretty soon before I forget everything about the first one, because I don't really want to reread the first one. But in trying to get through my stack of books, I added another book. It was a fun romance. It's definitely YA. Other than the time travel stuff, the problems are YA. I wouldn't say that Anna and Bennett are the most compelling couple or anything, but they're okay. They're not awful together. There's an entire side plot, though, that basically the reason that Bennett is in 1995, it's explained, it's a good reason, it checks out, but then it's just completely unresolved. It's never really explained. And like, I feel like the author was kind of like building it up to be a mystery, like for that resolution, and then she just kind of like tossed it aside for more romance, or maybe because she felt the book was getting too long. I'm not sure, but then she had to leave it in because that was the whole reason Bennett was there. So I wanted some resolution for that never showed up. But I'm willing to forgive that because there is a sequel. The same thing with the ending. The ending as a whole, like the resolution of Anna and Bennett's problems, is kind of hand-wavy, follow your heart nonsense. But because there is a sequel, even though I have not read it yet, there is, of course, the possibility that all of that is resolved in this sequel. I kind of doubt it. I don't really think that's what the author cares about, but sequel exists. Overall, I gave it 4 stars out of 5. It's a solid YA kind of fantasy. I like this type of like modern day with just like a couple elements of like light fantasy where everything else is modern and normal, but there's these light magical or fantasy elements. Like, that's my thing. It's a 4-star. It's like a lower 4-star. Like, there's definitely 4 stars that are better than that. 5 stars is not enough. Like, I need to talk to Goodreads about this. But yeah, I enjoyed it. This is... Things have improved a lot since January. For April, I have just started this. I really need to tape this because this is like the worst paper cut hazard. I need to like get some packaging tape on it. This is what I get for buying books from like a outlet discount thing. Holding Up the Universe by Jennifer Niven. Niven? I'm not sure. This is about 2 kids, Libby and Jack. They are both high school teenagers. Jack has a condition called, let me look for this word again because it's a difficult word. Prosopagnosia. I think I'm saying that right. And that's the inability to recognize faces. And somehow no one in his life knows this. Somehow he's been able to keep this a secret, even though this has been a problem since he was a child. No one knows. And he's got all these embarrassing moments where like he's mistaken like his parents or family members for other people or vice versa. And he just lives his life always constantly on the edge because of this. And we're supposed to feel real sorry for him, even though he's like good looking and popular and basically has everything else except for that. Libby, on the other hand, is a teen girl who lost her mother at a young age, which caused her to struggle a lot with food and eating to the point where she became 650 pounds. Like, she was America's heaviest teenager, and they had to like cut her out of her house, and it was on the news. It's been several years since that happened. In that time, she's lost 300 pounds, so very significant weight loss. She's mobile again. She's loving life, and she's decided that she wants to try going back to high school again. And that's about as far as I've gotten in this. The writing's good. The only thing I kind of don't like is it switches back and forth between Jack and Libby, and sometimes it's literally only like 1 page, at most 3 pages before we're back in the other person. And I'd rather have like longer chapters to spend with each of them than going back and forth so quick. But I do like the writing style. I saw I think a TikTok video where a girl said she really hated this book. She says a romance between a girl and her bully. And I could see how that's problematic. I haven't gotten that far. They haven't even met each other yet where I am. So I can't say for sure how bad the bullying is. I'm not convinced just from reading each of their personalities that they'd make a good romantic couple. That's where we are. I feel like I'm going to enjoy this one too. So we're doing a lot better. You know, we're in spring now. Everything's looking brighter and warmer and just all around better. As of right now, we're coming up on the end of April. My plan is to finish this book and get it up before the end of April. So my April Buzzwordathon will actually be posted in April. And then I want to read May's book the first week of May, so I could actually post that. Like, trying to get on a schedule now. I am done with school. I have finished my master's degree. I'm going to have some time off. Life is good. I'll see you next time.